Let's talk a little bit about the different types of assessment we can use with our learners. Remember, assessment is so important and helps to show us where our learners are and where they need to go in terms of their development. Firstly, initial assessment. This is usually done prior to the course commencing. It will help us to gauge the initial level of the learners so that they can be put into the right class. It can help us plan for differentiation. It can show us the motivation and the reasons the student has for wanting to follow the course. It can identify information to be shared with colleagues and also identify any specific needs. Diagnostic assessment is used to evaluate a learner's skills and knowledge and the areas they need to develop in a particular subject area. This can really help shape the lessons and differentiation. For example, if it is clear all your learners understand a specific aspect of a topic, then you can spend less time on introducing it and more time on its complex aspects. Formative assessment is probably the most useful and important type of assessment. This is assessment for learning and should be used throughout your teaching to check that your learners are learning. Quizzes, tasks, presentations, questioning skills, activities, games, concept checking. The list of techniques is almost endless, but it will tell you how well they are developing in the knowledge they have of the topic. Summative assessment usually occurs at the end of a session or program. This is assessment of learning. They are usually guided by a set of criteria that need to be met. Passing your GCSEs or your driving test, these are examples of summative assessment. They're usually therefore much more formal than formative assessment. There is also self-assessment or ipsative assessment. This develops the ability in your learners to judge and assess their own development, maybe using a set of standards for them to judge against. Being able to critically evaluate their own work is a very important skill to develop. Peer assessment involves a learner assessing another learner's work and progress. It can be a useful way to develop and motivate learners as long as it is managed carefully. Of course, it is not only the learner being assessed, but just as importantly the assessor who is benefiting from the process. Finally, consider the terms process and product when talking about assessment. In process, we are assessing skills or techniques, for example, to ensure a learner is following a set procedure. In product, we are interested in the end outcome and are not so interested in how this was achieved. I hope this short video has given you an insight into the world of assessment.